This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the third map that is included with the Farming Simulator 22 release. That is a reimagined Erlengrat. So Erlengrat was originally released in Farming Simulator 19 for the Alpine Farming Expansion. It is back again in FS22 as we have seen with previous Farm Sim generations and the previous generation's expansion map. Except this time it has been, well, a little bit reimagined for FS22. Let me read a little bit from the blog post that happened last week about Erlengrat. Vast mountainous grasslands, curvy roads, moving pasture trains, and cable cars at the horizon. Erlengrat represents the European Alpine regions and invites you to an idyllic landscape perfectly designed for grass care and animal husbandry. This map represents a tourist destination of the German-speaking Alps, overall altitude difference of 260 meters between the highest and lowest points, multiple vantage points to overlook Erlengrat and its surroundings, lots of sightseeing locations, including a shopping mile, and this map looks especially beautiful during winter. This map's brought to you by Patrick Coynier. Thank you for being a farm baron. So while we wait for the map to load on in, I will say that I loaded this map up in Farm Manager and Start from Scratch. And what I had found is a completely barren starting point. So unlike New Farmer mode, which is what we are in right here, where we have our farmhouse that we have come to learn and know from FS19's version, the little barn, we have a new animal area, we have a workshop, easy shed, and silo system, as well as a silage bunker off in the distance. This area here is completely void of anything other than landscaping if you start in farm manager mode or start from scratch. Now, the only exception is this rock is here and does remain, so it may be a little bit of a pain in the tail with respect to doing whatever you want up here. You're going to have to work around that rock. So let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. We'll zoom on out, and we're going to notice that this map has 6 of 12 production facilities that are available in the Farm Sim 19 space game. This map includes the biogas plant, a mill, the chocolatier, the sawmill, and the spinnery. Those are all pre-placed on the map. We take a look at the lands area. We start out by owning the main farmland up here, which does include a bit of grass above the farm and below the farm. We do not start owning any fields, though. We take a look at some of the field prices. Field 14 is $304,000. Field 3 is $234,000. The vast majority of this map is made up of grasslands. So we have a big hunk of grassland up north of our farm, $268,000 to buy that. A big section of grassland above the biogas plant for $284,000. The whole southern part of the map, south of the town, is all grasslands. All of it is segmented out. A couple $100,000 for each particular area, but boy, there is a ton of grass. I would say that there is more grass on this map than arable farmland. Of course, you could always plow up the grass and put in your own fields, should you so wish. This map does indeed include all of the crops available to us here on Farm Sim 22, including wheat, barley, canola, oat, corn, sunflower, soybean, potatoes, sugar beet, sugarcane, cotton, sorghum, grapes, olives, poplar, grass, and oilseed radish. If we take a look at our prices screen, you're going to see that we have multiple sell points for the bulk of our crops. We have wheat, barley, oat, canola, sorghum, grapes, olives, sunflowers, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beets. Cut sugar beets can be sold at the animal dealer and biogas plant. cotton at the spinnery and supermarket, sugarcane. There's no sell point or buy point for bulk seed. We can sell eggs at the supermarket. We can sell wool at the chocolatier, as well as at the cheese shop and the supermarket. We have the wood chip sell point, silage, grass, hay, straw are all available for sale at the animal dealer. We can buy gas at 2 different fuel stations. We can sell our products, flour, bread, cake, butter, and cheese at the supermarket, as well as fabric and clothes. All of our oils and other products are all going to be going to the supermarket for sale. There's no place to buy or sell solid or liquid fertilizer. We have manure and slurry sales. We have 2 lime fill points, and that is it. Take a look at our vehicles. We have a decent list of starting equipment. All of it is owned, none of it is leased, and it is all new. We do start with 15 cows. So this is the first map from Giants where we are starting with animals. We have 10 Holstein and 5 brown Swiss. They have some grass and some hay, a little bit of water, but no mixed rations. And we also have contracts available. We do not own any production chains at the start either. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how our vehicles break down. We have small tractors. We have the Lindner Lintrac 130, the Rigitrac SE50 electric, and the Pure 6105. So our tractors range in horsepower from 68 to 136 horsepower. We do have the walk behind AB CC66 mower. As far as cars, we are equipped with the 1986 pickup truck. We have the Welger DK115 trailer. We have the Pottinger Servo 25 plow, the F240 front mower. We have the Alpine Hit 4.4H tedder. We have the Top 342 windrower, the Boss Alpine 251 forage wagon, the Pottinger Impress 125F Pro. We have the legal round bale 3-point hitch transport piece of equipment. We do have the Lizard MKS8 water trailer and milk trailer, as well as the Joskins Aquatrans water trailer. For front loaders, we have the Quickie Q3M front loader arms. We have front loader bucket and a bale spike. And then we also have a front weight. I have to say, this new owned item screen, I don't like. It is not effective for how I work through this stuff. So with that done, let's go ahead and take a look here at the farm tour. Of course, we have our farmhouse here. The sleep trigger is going to be located over here on the side, as it was in FS19. And of course, as it is with all maps for FS22, we pick what time we want to wake up. We do not pick how long we want to sleep. We have our front mower, then our garage where we have our pickup truck and our equipment. We have our trailer, just a random shed here. We have our animal area here, our cow area. This is where we are going to be picking up milk. Then we have our food trough, our water trough, and then this is where we're going to come to buy more cows or sell cows, whichever we wish to do. We do have a water fill point located right here on the map. Continuing on around, we have a workshop right here in Forge Workshop. So this is going to be our repair workshop. We also have, for the first time so far in FS22, a placeable fuel tank. So this will allow you to refuel your tractors, and it has a capacity. Right now it is empty. You have to come around back here to interact with it, and you can purchase a fixed amount of fuel. You can fill this thing up for $13,000. You can buy just a few liters of fuel in various increments all the way up to the full quantity. We have a slurry storage tank over here. Then we have our silage pit. That is coming up fine and dandy. And then we have our farm silo with our dump station and a fill pipe above. Our easy shed with all of the other storage items in there. And that, my friends, is the local farm. Oh, here we do have a recharging station for our electric tractor also. So that, I'm going to go ahead and get set up for the fly around. We're going to fly around the map and do a little bit of an aerial tour. And then once we do that, we're going to land down at the shop, get in our Mahindra, and drive around to all of the sell points and production facilities located here on the map. Let's get a little bit of altitude and take a little bit of a look around. So overall, this map is fairly unchanged other than the starting farm. So if you play this map in FS19, then it's pretty much how you're going to remember it. They have changed some trees. They've changed, in my opinion, the distance scenery. I think it looks a lot better than it did in FS19. But the overall layout of the map is all still the same. And to that end, I really feel like all of the building textures are also the same. So the buildings really are not playing toward the whole parallax occlusion technique that we see on Elm Creek and the French map. And it can really show and stand out when you get around something that has a bit of a rocky or brick texture to it. So for this particular map, I'm going to have to say that it's probably not going to get the full 1 point with respect to buildings where appropriate, or using the new texture technique for the 3D look. Ground textures are indeed. So if we look at stones, we can see that they are appearing to have height to them as a result of the new graphic techniques. But areas like this road ramp is not. And we're going to take a little bit closer look at that, because I'm pretty sure on one side it has a bit more of a brick look to it, but there's plenty of other areas that we can point out also. So that is a flat texture. Okay. If we see other areas like this on the other maps, they definitely stand out and look far different. So I'm going to have to say that this is probably not going to get a full point on that area. The other aspect that I think where this map isn't going to get a full point is going to be with respect to the production. While the map does include 6 of the 12 production elements, the map really does not have that much with respect to areas for you to clearly put additional production elements in. The flattest parts of the map are set aside for arable fields, and there are so few arable fields on this map, it really is a shame to think that you're going to have to sacrifice an arable field for the purpose of adding additional production to the map should the player wish. So I think I'm going to have to give this a half point on that as well. So we have our digestate output. We have our dump station. And we can buy this particular biogas plant for $479, nearly $480,000. This is our digester dump station. This dump station over here would be if you are selling product, not necessarily processing silage. We have 2 three-sided silage bunkers located right here. We have our chaff trigger 1 and chaff trigger 2. I was looking for my Mahindra, and I'm like, wait, where is it? I just realized I hadn't gotten it yet. So the entire southern part of the map, if you haven't been on this map, is all grassland, a very hilly grassland. You can see the road winding up to the top of the elevation over there. So this map is ideally set aside for players that want to partake in grass work over and above pretty much everything else. Like I said, down there, that is all prime, fairly flat farmland. And that is where you would be placing any other production elements or player farms for that matter. The start farm location is really the only area that has been set aside for a farming area without going up through here and maybe doing some landscaping on some of the hilly, grassy terrain. Not saying that you can't do it, just saying that it would cost a fair bit of money with respect to landscaping fees and such. Here we have the mill. We have one of our lime fill points. Make our way over to one of our fueling stations. The other fueling station is in town. We have one of the train transfer stations directly below here. The animal dealer is located right below us there also. And then here we have the map border. The train comes in from this direction and exits over there, which basically just traverses the map. This train also does not loop around the map like it did, or like trains did in previous farm sim maps. And now we're making our way back to the main farm. We're going to shoot right across that and over to the shop, which is just here on this side of town. Now, something else that I'm really glad to see gone from this particular map is the advertisements. So I was pretty vocal, I thought, about the ads that showed up in this map when it came out in FS19. Some folks were like, you know what, whatever, I don't care. And I was pretty vocal about it because I thought that it was a very slippery slope for Giants to be going down. I don't remember what was on this particular billboard, but it seemed to be like it was an ad possibly for someone creator, content type creator. There was an ad for Rivel, which is a model maker that makes, piece together models and various things like that. Those have been removed. There were ads for farm sim server hosts and whatnot. Those have now also been removed. I think that is a very good thing, personally. I'm glad to see those removed from this particular iteration of the map. Really made me worried if we would see these types of things on Elm Creek and the French map, but instead we just have nice generic ads, support your local farmers, or ads related to brands that Giants has made up with respect to like the grape soda and such. So here we are down at the shop. We have our activation trigger. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. And over here we have our buy, sell, activate, trade, whatever, customized trigger. Now we don't have a huge ton of space here. It's not small, by any stretch of the imagination, but it is also not, massive. Of course, the fields on this map are not overly massive either, so no big surprise that the shop area isn't all that large. Let's go ahead and hop on in. I think the first thing we'll do is head right across the street. This is the chocolate warehouse, or sorry, the chocolate factory. So we have our dump station. We have our interactive icon and our pallet spawn point. We're going to be able to buy this factory for $50,000. I do love the sound. Listen to the reverb. Oh, it's going to take a long time for that excitement to wear off. Over here we have one of the train transfer stations. In fact, here comes the train right about now. And just like with all the other Farm Sim 22 maps that we have seen to date, we can rent the train from these explanation icons. And when we rent the train, then we're going to be able to use it to sell goods at the off-map sell point, or possibly move, goods around from one place to the other. Over here we have our dump station and our fill pipe for the train. So we can dump stuff here to fill into the train silo or pull product out of the train silo. I'm going to go ahead and loop this direction. And we're going to come around the map, and I think we'll finish back in town. So to the left, we have a lime fill silo. To the right, we have our mill. So it looks like we have our dump station here. We have our interactive icon to buy the mill for $96,000. And then we have our spawn point for our flour right here. Go ahead and pull up the big PDA so we have a little bit of a frame of reference. And boy, can you really tell, looking at that PDA, how this map is really, really grass focused. I would say 2/3 of the northern part of the map are grass areas. The area divided in by the river. We have the flatlands down here, which are arable fields. And then we have the hilly region to the south of town, which is 100% totally grassland. So if you enjoy grass work, well, this map is likely going to be right up your alley. Overall, I kind of got the feeling that this map maybe didn't get the attention it deserved when it was part of the Alpine Farming Expansion because of the equipment that was included with the expansion. I think there were a fair bit of players that didn't buy the Alpine Farming Expansion because they really weren't that interested in electric tractors. Even though there was only one electric tractor there, that's kind of maybe that was a little bit over incentivized or just over talked about. So we have our fuel station right here. Again, it had an ad on it at 19. Now it has been genericized. Totally hyped about that. We have another train activation trigger here to rent the train. This is another train silo to store things at the train and sell them off map. So we have our dump station and our fill pipe here. Sounds like the train just looped around. I'm just going to go ahead and cut across the train tracks here, because we have our animal dealer located right here. So this is where you're going to come to buy additional animals. Right there. Since we own the cow area, it's only offering us cows at this point in time. And then around the back of the animal area, we have our bale sell point. And that is located right there. We have the dump icon here, but the trigger marker is way back here in the back. Now, the sell point that is listed to my left, the way I'm pointing, that is the off-map sell point. That is only accessible via the train. Let's just go ahead and get a little first-person perspective here. Driving around. Like I say, you can really get a sense for the flat lay of the land down here on this part where all the arable fields are. And then you can just see the land just start to rise up from there. So we're coming here below our start farm. Town is across the river on our right. These guys are in lockstep. They are on a mission. So I will say that while the map does not use the new building texture system, it is still a very attractive map. Still a very beautiful map. So we have our dump station here for wood chips, and traffic just took me out. So we have our wood chip dump station. We have our log sell point right here. We have our log activation icon to sell the wood. Right next door, we have the carpentry shop, which is quite handy. And the carpentry shop can be bought for $100,000. Sorry, that's the sawmill. Can be bought for $100,000. We'll get wood pallets out of that. And then we have our second lime fill silo right there. I believe there used to be like a Rivel, ad banner. Basically right there where that grass is. Looks like they took it down and just reseeded the area. Now we'll continue on. Biogas plant is the only thing further on this side. We'll cut across the river and then double our way back. I was really hoping that they would make a sell point up at that big hotel. It doesn't look like they have because there isn't an icon on the mini-map. Having the sell point icons on the mini-map is huge for things like map tours, that's for sure. So let's kind of think back and look at this summary again. We've got 6 of the 12 production. That's nice. I'm going to give it a half point there because we really do not have clearly defined areas that we could place other production without sacrificing arable fields or doing a fair bit of landscaping up in the hills. The map does include sell points for all of the included crops and base game production, even things that are not pre-placed. So we get a full point there. The farm can indeed be customized. So that is good to see. There again, just like the production, there are not areas that you can really clearly make another farm without either doing a significant amount of landscaping or sacrificing arable land. Here we have another train rent trigger. So I think I'm going to give it a half point there. I do like the fact that when you start in Farm Manager or start from scratch, the starting farm is completely barren. That fits exactly with the whole build your own farm concept of having a completely blank slate. Buildings where appropriate are not using the new textures. It feels like Giants is just rehashing those, which is a little bit of a disappointment. I was really hoping to see these buildings retextured with the new technique, but we're not seeing that. So I think I'm going to give a half point there also. So here we can change our wardrobe down here at the sports center. This is where we can go to change our outfit, should we so wish. And now when we get into our Mahindra, we'll be wearing a different outfit. There we are. And then the player triggers and interactive areas are indeed clearly marked. So if we think about things, we're going to be giving this map a 3.5 out of 5. It's lost a half point with respect to the production of just having 6 and not having any real areas that you can put stuff down without doing a fair bit of landscaping up in the hills or sacrificing arable land, which is already at a premium. So here we have a sell point for our supermarket. If you remember, the supermarket took a fair bit of the products that you could produce. It's lost a half point at can the farms be customized because there's only really one farm on the map. And then it has lost a half point with respect to the new building textures. I was really hoping to see, like I say, Giants re-texture these buildings. And here we have our cheese factory. So we have our dump station, our pallet spawn point for the cheese factory. And we can buy the cheese factory for $50,000. Over here we have our fuel station, and that should just about do us. So we've got one more, and that is the spinnery right here to take care of. So we have our pallet spawn point for our fabric. We can buy the spinnery for $60,000, and here is our dump station. So guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this particular map tour. If you did, please go ahead and click that like button. let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the reimagined Erlengrat for Farm Sim 22? Do you agree with my overall score of 3.5 out of 5? Do you feel that it should get a higher score? Remember, these are objective scores. These are not driven by senses of emotions or how one feels or likes the map. It's kind of hard to object to if there are or aren't areas to place buildings, if there are or aren't custom or additional farms, and if these buildings do or don't take advantage of that new texture technique. So until next time, guys, happy farming.